Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant. Today we are at the next topic and we are going to look at a Bobby Fischer's game and we are going to see how the strong masters use patterns in their games. So let's try to see how to develop pattern recognition. So I am going to show you two games basically where a similar thing happened but from a totally different opening and a totally different position. So let's get started with the first one, easy example, which is so e4, e5, white played nf3, black goes d6, the Philidor defense, white plays d4. So we are not entering into theory, e takes d4 and d4. Now normal development, knight f6, knight c3, bishop e7 and white plays bishop c4. The bishop is very useful on c4, it pressurizes f7, white is waiting with his queenside bishop e8. So black just plays castle, normal move, and here white also plays castle. So in this position basically the idea is black wants to restrain this white pawn. He doesn't want to allow e5, that is called restrain. We control or obstruct that pawn from moving further. And then after re8, bf8, maybe nd7 nc5, black will pressurize this e4 pawn. That is one of his ideas. Sometimes the bishop comes g6, g7 later on. So this is black's plan. So black plays re8, white played h3, trying to stop ng4 idea, and here black played a very strange move. See, black should have played nc6, right? nc6 should have been the normal move over here, but maybe he thought that after nc6, nc6, bc, be3, the pawns would be somewhat weak. So black played nf d7. The idea is to bring the knight to e5. So this is the position which will act as a pattern recognition for us. What should you play in this position, or what would you play as white in the if it is your game? Here at least three candidate moves are there. One is queen h5, other is knight f5 and bishop f7 check. Here many of my students, those who are generally beginners, this example I use for beginners, and they cannot find the move bishop f7 at all. So mostly people want to go with attack. But see, whenever nd7 comes, we know that the queen lacks space. And this pattern, see how nicely white uses. White plays bishop f7 check, forcing the king out, king f7, and here comes the tactical move knight e6. This is the main idea. If white would have played queen h5, then the king would have gone back to g8 and there would be no mating attack. In the event of queen f3 also there would be just nf6. White plays ne6, very strong move, and now see, there is no respite. If king doesn't take the knight, the queen is lost, and after k e6, simply a mate in 2 followed. So white plays qd5 check, king f6 and queen f5 mate. So this is a relatively very easy example, right? Let us see how Fischer used this kind of idea in his own game, and here the opponent is much stronger. So let's go to that game now. Now e4 c5, this is an accelerated dragon position, nf3, nc6, d4, c takes d4, knight d4 and black played g6. This is the beginning of accelerated dragon. White often goes with the move c4 and then knight c3. He wants to stop the move d5. That is the main reason black often plays an f6 first. So Fischer plays normally over here. His favorite Fischer Sozin style means the bishop comes to c4. Let's see, knight c3, g7. He played bishop e3, nf6 and now bishop c4. So black played castle here. White plays bb3. See, this move is very important because now if castle, then knight e4, d5 would be a real problem. Till black had not castled, ne4 was not such a problem because ne4 would have allowed bishop f7 check, breaking black's castle, and then white would just take knight e4. So white just goes bb3, avoiding that trap. Here now black had to play the move simply d6 and stop white from playing e5. And after castle, we would have a normal standard position. But black was in a hurry and he tried to exploit maybe white's move order. So he went with knight a5. And now see, white uses the idea e5. So first calculation, the knight is driven away. If knight takes b3, then e takes f6, knight takes a1 and f takes g7. And we see that kg7 is forced, to which queen takes a1. Simply we got two pieces for the rook and there is a pawn though, but see, the black king is not well placed. White can simply consider playing h4, h5. The king will be totally safe on f1. Even he can consider opening this diagonal with b3, but I would prefer queen c1 and h4 h5. That would be almost winning for white. So of course black couldn't play nb3. Had black played nh5, then just g4 and the knight would be trapped. So black had to play the move knight e8, and this is the position with white to play. Can you recognize what should white do? Would you look for a combination? And this is where the pattern recognition works. See, the previous game, I can tell you that Fischer must have 100% known that game, okay, or many similar such games where the king is stuck. So here see, there is a pawn on d7. All the ingredients are quite similar. See, white wins with bishop f7 check. This must have come as a big shock. The point is that if rook takes f7, then knight e6, and see, d pawn is pinned and the queen has no place. So the queen is trapped, like the previous example. And if king takes f7, black played this, and there was the shocking move knight e6. In the game, black played d6 and queen d8. The queen was given up, and black kept on playing because he didn't want to lose the game as a miniature, right? Miniature is a game less than 25 moves. That game went on for 30 moves. But the point is that if black would have played ke6, then comes qd5 check, king f5, extracting the king out. Now see, g4 check. It's a typical king hunt type thing. King takes g4 forced and rook g1 check. See the similarity of the consequence after ne6. In that position, the mate was quicker. Here the king is extracted and the mate is bit longer. Let's look at the options. If king h3, then qg2 check, king h4, qg4 checkmate. If king h4 directly, then queen e4 check, same thing, king h5 and qg4 mates, h3 or h5 to both. If king h5 here, many people are not able to find the move qd1 check. Rook f3, queen takes f3, king h4 and qg4 mates. Finally, if the black king would have gone to f5, then rook g5 checkmate. So this is typically the way to study games. We can use ideas related to some other game and try to implement them. There should be some similarity between the pieces, and this helps us identify or form various mating patterns or a pattern of combination. I hope you found this lesson useful and instructive. Do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time.